Welcome viewers. This is another episode of the MNL production where we talk nothing but volleyball, and today we are covering the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League which started on the 25th of May in Bulawayo, where teams based in the southern region participated in the first leg, and today we are witnessing the first leg of the teams based in the northern region. My name is Thomas Mangwiro, and this year's edition of the Premier League has got 15 male teams and 10 female teams. In Much South we have got no team this time around, and in Bulawayo for the men we have got Chimoyo and Highlanders, and in the Midlands we have the MSU Cobras, and in Masvingo there is no team, and in Mat North we have two teams, that is Crocs and perennial campaigners, that is Shalom Bowlers, but this time around there is no Shalom for the women. And in the northern region we've got debutants just like Crocs, Untouchables from Lions Den, and we have Cat Eagles. We also have support unit from Harare. We have Black Mambas, Black Rhinos, Naba, and 2023 champions UZ Wolves. We also have from Mashonaland Central BVC, and for the ladies support unit Cat Eagles, Black Mambas, Harare City, UZ Wolves, Manyame Falcons, and we also have Manyame Falcons in the men's category. And today the game started in earnest, and Black Rhinos winning some of their matches, as well as Naba and UZ Wolves support unit suffering a defeat to perennial campaigners, that is UZ Wolves. And today we are going to talk to the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson, that is Clemence Muzondo, to give us an insight into this year's campaign. But last week in the southern region it was Highlanders and Vipers who dazzled for the men and women respectively, and so far Highlanders leading the log standing with 4 wins out of 4 matches, and Vipers leading the log standings with 3 wins out of 3 games. We also have Diamonds from Bulawayo, rather Gweru. We also have MSU Cobras for the women in the seat of Gweru. And now I'm going away for a few moments, and we welcome our guest for today, Clemence Muzondo, in the second segment. Welcome back viewers. This is the second segment of this episode where we are covering the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League 2024 season, and in the first segment I gave you an insight of the teams present in this league this season, and now I am joined by the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson Clemence Muzondo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, boss. It's nice having you.
Let's talk about the teams that are currently in the 2024 ZPVL season. How many teams do we have for the men and for the women?
Currently we have 16 men and 10 women teams. That's what we have currently in the Premiership.
From the teams I have seen, there's no team from Manikaland and Mashonaland, rather Masvingo, and also Mad South. What is the reason for having no teams in those regions?
Teams are there, as you can allude. In Mad South we used to get representation from Battery Bridge Eagles, and also in Manikaland, yes, we have never had a team from Manikaland. In Masvingo we have the boys team Blue Stars who are represented as well. So I think it's due to economic situation whereby you're finding that most teams are self-sponsored, and they are unable to come up with the affiliation and even for money to have expenditure to fulfill all the obligations for the season.
So what should we expect in this season? Last season we saw UZ Wolves winning the league, and also UZ Wolves for rather Cat Eagles for the women. What are the expectations for the 2024 season?
You cannot tell because of the competition, and you'll find that with the result that we have actually had today, things are shifting. And teams are also preparing for each other. They are coming up hotter, they are coming out more prepared, and you find that it is difficult to foretell a season, but what I can promise people is that we're going to have fireworks. People are going to be, teams are going to be upping their games, and you're going to see a stiff competition. It's not a giveaway, it's going to be a real competition.
But from the few matches we have witnessed in the southern region and today in the northern region, do you think the standard from last season has improved?
Usually you find that in the beginning of the season, teams, they are a bit rusty. Some teams are coming in with new formations, new members, and you find that it will be difficult for them to gel. But as we go into maybe the second round, the first national and the second national, you find that teams would have now come out of their shells. They will be now even wanting to challenge those which are called big guns. So you can tell that it's going to be a very, very busy season. This is the start of the season. As much as we can allude today, we have had stiffer competition. Also, those also meant to say new teams that are coming in, they also gave their fight. But you find that at the end of the day, experience will count, and also those teams that have had more time now in the Premier Volleyball League, they're improving each and every day, and you're going to find a stiffer competition even as we move forward. Today, yes, teams are a bit rusty, teams are coming up with new formations, teams are bringing in new players, and you'll find that as we go, we'll have a stiffer competition.
Today we are witnessing that only one team in the northern region, that is Untouchables from Lions, has joined the league, and also Crocs from the southern region has joined the league. There are only two new teams. What is the reason of not having so many teams joining, or rather promoted from the lower leagues? Do you have a standard or leagues where teams are getting promoted and demoted?
We are running this league as a super league, as a Premier League, whereby we have 10 teams that are seconded from the provinces, and I would understand that the provinces would give would second a team that's the best team from their province. So we have those 10 teams, and we have also 4 that will be retained from the last season. That will be the top 4 to bring in more competition as well. So you'll find that those new teams that are coming, they'll have one from their provinces, they'll be seconded from their provinces, and they expect that they are going to give a fight.
From the beginning, there was a slow uptake of slots from the teams. We only saw teams affiliating towards the end of this month. What was the main reason of the teams not committing to join the Premier League?
I wouldn't think that teams were not committing to join the Premier League. But what happens, as I've said before, you find that the financial situation that we are in, most teams, they are self-sponsored. And to come up with those funds, they would be seeking sponsorship, and it might take time, and you cannot be chasing a sponsor to say, we're going to give a deadline. A sponsor will come in where they think they can come up with the funds to join the Premier League. So I wouldn't say that it wasn't a matter of commitment, but it was a matter of finances. And you find that later on teams had to pay in not full amounts, but you find that some paid in deposits just to commit to say we want to play this Premier League.
That was Clemence Muzondo, the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson, talking to us about the teams. We are going out for a moment and we come back in the final and third segment. My name is Thomas Mangwiro. Hello viewers, welcome back to the third and final segment of this MNL production supported by Gemcon Consultancy, your solution to construction and town planning. And I was talking to the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson, that is Clemence Muzondo. Welcome back to this segment.
Thank you again, boss. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we were talking about the teams, and now, is there any sponsorship to this league this time around?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, or I wouldn't want to disclose to say we have a sponsorship fully. We are working on something, and we want to make it better. This is a big brand in volleyball, and we want to make sure that it's visible, it's marketed, and we get sponsorship. So we are really on the look for sponsorship, and we have something that we have, but we'll disclose once it's final and it's set.
Last season there were prizes announced for the winners, but from the teams they are saying they haven't received their prize monies. Do you have a comment about that?
There has been delays on both ends, but as we committed to pay the winning prizes, they will be paid. And also we have paid already. Some we have complied with what we have asked for, like account numbers, being account numbers. But those we haven't received, we had made sure in the arrangements that they will be paid through.
Chairperson, I don't want to put you in a corner, but we saw the ushering in of the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League Comet last season. Can you comment about the autonomy overrunning of the league from the Mother Association?
This is a committee that's independent. As you can see, if you checked around, there wasn't anyone from the executive, from the national executive. We are running as a committee. We are independent of our choices, decisions that we make. So as what people might say, I think there are things that might have been done way back, but it's now different. It's being run independently by this committee, and everything is being done by the committee, by the Premier Volleyball Committee.
Also, we have seen a number of new referees joining the league. Can you comment on the refereeing standards, especially from the newcomers?
We want to keep a high standard in our officiating. Yes, at times you have referees, new referees, or even old referees that would have gone a long way, that would have left way back and coming back into the fold. But you find that as we try, we are always moving around each and every court to make sure that the officiating is of high standard. We might have loose ends here and there, but we are tying them up each and every time.
We have seen matches being played in the southern region, and today we are seeing matches being played in the northern region. Where to from here?
We have set a program whereby we have regions, and we avoided teams of from the same region clashing in a different city. So what we have done is we came up with the northern and southern regions fixtures. We played last week in Bulawayo, and we are playing this weekend in Harare, and you find that all the fixtures you'll find are northern teams. So coming from the regional competitive fixtures, we'll be playing end of June. We'll be starting our national competition. That will be the first, and you go for another second national, third national. Then you also have those editions, the southern and northern editions, in between to finish up remaining games. Then we go on to the fourth national and finally the fifth national, which should be our final leg.
So the end of June, which seat will be hosting the matches?
I can't reveal at the moment. We are still talking with the clubs that are supposed to be hosting, but I will say very soon, in 2-3 days, would release a full fixture, a schedule that will show where we will be for good planning. So by Monday we will be done. We will broadcast all those fixtures, and people and clubs will see where we will be playing up until the league is over.
And as a committee, what have you done to avoid the double registrations of players? For example, a player is playing in the Harare Volleyball League and his team is not in the ZPVL, but he goes on and play for another team in the ZPVL. What is your policy towards that?
We have said a player can belong to one club. Whether you are playing a provincial league or you are playing the Premier Volleyball League, you belong to one club. So what we have done in place is for teams to submit their O2s, and we will check for double registration. Anywhere where we have got errors, we'll have to iron them out.
In this case, you cannot have registrations for a team which is in Masvingo Provincial League. how are you going to see that player A is playing for Blue Eagles and are also playing for support unit in the ZPVL if Blue Eagles is not in the ZPVL?
It's an easy task because it's a mandate from ZVA that we are supposed to, as provinces, they are supposed to send in their O2s for the teams that are playing, because we have what we call sportsman levy, which is paid by each and every sports person who belongs to volleyball, and those are sent to ZVA. So each and every province is supposed to send club lists, which are O2s, to ZVA to forward, which we can now use to check for double registration with the teams that are in the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League.
But how can you have a system where you don't have a clear cut policy on player transfers? How do you expect to manage that?
A clear cut policy is there on player transfer, but as you would see that usually players and clubs, they might want to test how tight our system is. So the clear policy is there. We had a player registration and movement ending 31 March, and we are going to have another one beginning, I think, June for another month again. So those should be periods where players can move. But as you know, players and clubs, they would also want to test the system to see if it's watertight. So as moving forward, we're going to clear any errors from our databases. As we received another complaint, and we are looking into it, and it's easy to check from the PVS. As ZVA, they are in control of all the volleyball activities in the country, so they can easily request for an O2 from a team that is in the province, where there might be any player double registered to another team which is in the Premier League. So it's an easy thing to find out, but as you know, players can be scheming, clubs can be scheming, but our system is there. So we have to regularize and follow it up, which is in a more tighter way, to make sure that players are registered in one club.
And also talking about teams affiliations, in terms of percentages, how much percentage is being allocated to competition and to administration?
That would be a tricky question on my end, because one person who can answer that is the treasurer. As to the allocation, as I said before, you would find that teams have paid some deposits, some full payments, some have made payment plans, so he knows how things are run. We just tell him how we are supposed to run things, and what we expect from him, and he knows what's in the wallet. So I think that would be a question best answered by the treasurer on the fraction and the percentage on what needs to be done on administration and on other things. That's why we are going forth seeking for sponsorship, so that this affiliation will not pour much into sponsorship, but it will do the running of the league and will seek sponsorship elsewhere.
That was the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson Clemence Muzondo talking to us about the National League and all the sponsorship. Currently there is no sponsorship, but they are running around to find the sponsorship. Hopefully by the end of the season there will be something for the teams. That was your man Thomas Mangwiro covering this edition of the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League. We are out. Hello viewers, this is your man Thomas Mangwiro on this MNL show, the hot seat promoted by Gemcon Solutions, rather Gemcon Consultancy, your solutions to town planning and construction. And be sure to join us in our next episode as I talk to the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League chairperson Clemence Muzondo.